Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's session on tags, groups, and segments. My name is Mariana, and along with my teammate Cody, we'll be your hosts for today.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us. We know how important it is to deliver the right message to the right person at the right time. Knowing who your audience is and which messages resonate best with them is critical to successful online marketing. In Mailchimp, we have audience management tools like tags, groups, and segments that help you organize and target your audience more effectively. Using these tools will help you turn your insights into more personalized, segmented marketing.
Let's take a moment to run through our agenda for today. First, we'll talk through some important things to remember when building and managing your Mailchimp audience. Next, we'll explain how to use tags, groups, and segments for organization. We'll then offer guidance around creating your own segmentation strategy in Mailchimp. And finally, we'll wrap it up by outlining what segmentation can do by creating example segments in the app and providing takeaways and next steps to get you going.
If you're in need of technical assistance at any time, you can visit our website at mailchimp.com/help. Let's kick off today's tutorial with some audience management concepts. We know that for a lot of you, this may be a bit of a recap, but we just want to get everyone on the same page before this training.
At its simplest, your audience is where you can find all of your data about your customers, fans, and friends. With every new purchase from your website, each additional newsletter sign-up, and every click your ads receive, you're gathering data that can tell you who your audience is and what they love about your brand. As your business grows, so does the amount of customer data there is to keep track of.
And that's where audience management comes in. Drawing insights from your audience data will become easier and more actionable if you get organized with tags, groups, and segments. We'll discuss these tools in more detail in just a moment. But before we do, let's go over some important things to remember about audiences in Mailchimp. First, Mailchimp audiences are independent of one another, even if they're in the same account. This means that audiences don't share contact data or campaign statistics.
That said, there are situations where you'll want to talk to different audiences from within the same Mailchimp account. One of the most common scenarios for this is if you have both wholesale and retail customers. The contacts in these audiences will likely never interact with one another and would have two completely different sets of content and customer journeys. So in this case, it may be better to keep that data separate with different audiences.
Absolutely. Keep in mind, the number of audiences you can store in your account depends on the plan that you're on. For example, our standard plan allows you to create up to 5 audiences, while our premium plan will give you access to unlimited audiences.
That's right. So then, what's the best way to keep track of all of your contact data within your audience? As you know, Mailchimp is an all-in-one marketing platform, and we encourage you to think of your audience organization in Mailchimp like you would a CRM or customer relationship manager. When it comes to effective audience management, maintaining a cleaned, organized, and central location for your customer data will help you see a clearer picture of who you're talking to. And using tags, groups, and segments will help you maintain this structure.
What's important to remember here is that the way you leverage your audience insights will look different each time you hit send. It just depends on your business needs and specific campaign goals. You'll want to use what you know about your audience to talk to people with common traits. So, for example, one month you might want to know what city your customers live in so you can plan a series of local events. Then the next month it might be more important to know which of your customers purchased a specific product, or if they signed up from a specific sale page so you can send them an offer. This is why Mailchimp provides these tools that all work in slightly different ways to help you get the information you need when you need it. So, with that, let's now jump into the differences between tags, groups, and segments, and we'll offer examples of when and why you would use each of these tools.
First up, let's chat about tags. Tags are really just labels you create to help you organize your contacts. They allow you to add more information to your contact data that you wouldn't necessarily collect from your audience when they sign up for your newsletters. Think about it this way. There will always be things you know about your contacts that Mailchimp doesn't know. For example, Mailchimp can track a contact and how it interacts with your campaigns. like if someone opens and clicks a link in your email, or if someone makes a purchase from your connected e-commerce store. However, there are a lot of things that you learn about your audience outside of Mailchimp too, like if you meet a fan of your brand in person, or a customer reaches out to you on social media looking for help.
Absolutely. Let's walk through an example. This is Hannah. She's one of our recent massage therapy clients. After her latest massage appointment, she attended one of our online wellness classes. This is where tags can come in handy. After learning this information, we could go into our audience and apply a couple of new tags. As this is the first series of wellness classes we offered, we want to create a brand new tag to apply to anyone who attends our online classes. Let's make it class. Then, if we meet a few more people at our next pop-up shop, we can also apply that same tag to their profiles. Soon we'll have a smaller section of our audience that all have this class tag applied. Additionally, we'll also apply a tag that we already have created in our audience called Massage Therapy Clients to Hannah's account. Now we've updated her information within our audience to include this brand new information. We can then use that information to send targeted messages to Hannah and to other people in our audience who have these tags applied to them. For example, we might want to send everyone a message who has attended one of our online classes, sharing future class offerings and new event information with them.
Yep, fast forward a few months, and let's say we're launching a brand website and we decide to send a newsletter to all of our contacts who have the class tag applied, offering 15% off as a discount for future services. Sending these targeted emails makes subscribers like Hannah feel special seeing personalized content, and it also helps lead to higher open and click rates for your emails. So with that example, we want you to remember that this is just one scenario, and tags are completely flexible. They can be applied to contacts individually or in bulk through imports, and you can organize them and use them however you want in a way that makes sense for you and your business. If you have questions about how to import and add tags to your contacts, we definitely encourage you to check out our follow-up resources, which will include a step-by-step guide on how to do this.
But just for reference, we did want to show you this. When importing to your audience and using tags, you'll want to double check that this update any existing contacts box is checked to ensure contacts that are already in your audience are updated with a tag from your import. You can also see the tags page in the Mailchimp app. To get here, click Audience in the main navigation menu, and then choose Tags from the secondary menu. Here, you can see all of your tags for an audience, as well as create and manage your tags. The main thing to take away here is that tags are fully customizable and allow you to easily track contacts in your audience based on the unique characteristics that you learn about them over time. Keeping tags in mind for internal organization in your Mailchimp account, let's move on to a tool that subscribers have some more input on, which is groups. Think of times when you've seen a preference form on a website. When you're subscribing to the site's newsletter, perhaps the form asks you how often you want to receive emails, or if you want to see content based on some of your interests. In Mailchimp, you can achieve this type of preference center through groups.
Unlike tags, groups let your contacts give you more insight into their specific interests. It's an easy way for contacts to self-select into different categories that you provide for them to choose from. So let's take a moment to differentiate between tags and groups. Very broadly, we like to think of tags as completely internal to your Mailchimp account, meaning customers will never see these tags you apply to their audience information, but groups are customer-facing preferences that they can select upon sign-up or when completing preference forms. So let's take Hannah from our last example. We know that she came to our classes and we added that tag to her profile. Remember, she won't see this tag as it's just internal to our account. A few months later, let's say we add an update your profile request to subscribers in our audience. In this request, we're asking our subscribers if they want to opt in to any customer-facing interest group options we've created, such as frequency of newsletters, which includes the options of weekly or monthly. Now, once she updates this form, we'll know Hannah wants to be contacted more frequently because she told us by selecting that weekly group option.
Groups are created through a form field that people fill out when they subscribe to your marketing. like the preference center that we noted earlier. Here you can see what setting up groups look like in Mailchimp. In this scenario, we have a fictional plant business, the potted planter, and we're asking our customers to let us know their level of gardening experience, beginner, intermediate, or advanced. The new subscriber can add in their email address and first name and last name, as well as self-select their gardening level. Once we get this information from our subscribers, we can then send different information to beginners versus experienced gardeners. So at this point, you may be wondering, once I have contacts organized into tags and groups, how do I send just those people targeted emails? And that's exactly where segments come into play.
Segmentation is one of the defining factors of effective email marketing and messaging because it allows you to break up your contacts into smaller sets of people based on similarities that you choose. When you do this, you can tailor your message to be more relevant and engaging to the people receiving it. Unlike tags or groups, you're not adding any new data to your audience with segments. Instead, you're simply using the data you already have to categorize your contacts. Then once you've segmented your contacts, you can send those people specific marketing content. Let's take a moment to visualize what we mean when we say this. Here we have tags. There are labels created based on what we know about our audience. Then we have groups. These are things that our audience told us about themselves. Now, these two things, tags and groups, are characteristics of our audience contacts. Segments, then, are the filter that helps you find contacts within your audience with specific shared characteristics. So, say we're looking for those contacts in our audience who have both the class tag applied and also in the group category for VIP. These are two characteristics that we would then combine to build a segment.
Keep in mind that segments can have up to 5 of these characteristics or criteria, but you can also keep things super simple and stick with only one criterion, like only sending to people who have one tag applied as well. Of course, with segments, it's not just about groups and tags. They can go a lot further than that with other data that we collect in your Mailchimp account. Let's start with a segment just pulling in data from one tag. Then we'll build upon that with other, more complex options. For example, here you can see a super simple segment. We chose the criteria of tags, selected contact is tagged, and then picked clients from our list of tags. This segment will now pull in every contact that has this tag applied. But let's say we want to take it a step further. We want to see everyone with the clients tag applied, but we also only want to add them to this segment if they were added to the audience after a certain date.
Here we kept our same segment criteria at the top, looking for everyone who has the clients tag applied. You'll notice we've added a second set of criteria where we're also looking for everyone who was added to our audience after January 1st, 2023. We're doing this because we only want to pull in our newest clients to our audience. We'll then send them a message to let them know about some of our upcoming classes. Our existing audience members have already been informed about these classes, so we want to exclude them from our targeting for now. But you can also segment based on information you didn't even know you had. For example, you can segment by everyone in your audience who has or hasn't opened any of your email campaigns that you've sent in the last month, let's say, which is information automatically collected by Mailchimp. Super cool, right?
Absolutely. In addition to audience activity, segments can also pull in demographic, behavioral, and e-commerce data. For example, you can get more specific and pull in everyone who opened a certain campaign or has spent more than $100. What's great about segments is that regardless of the criteria you choose, segments are dynamic and they update automatically with the latest audience data.
Now, there are some important things to remember when creating your own segments. We know that when a customer feels like a message was written just for them, they may be more likely to be receptive to what you have to say. And segmentation makes that kind of personalization possible. But where do you start? To get yourself going, decide what your goals are. Ultimately, your customer segmentation goals are going to be unique to your business, and segmentation isn't a one-size-fits-all process.
So true. Then you'll create segments of your audience based on your objectives, whether you're looking to target customers geographically, by purchase history, or shared characteristics.
Yep, and you'll then see these segments with personalized campaigns. You'll target these segments based with personalized campaigns, For example, you might want to target people who have purchased from you in the past and live in the Atlanta area. You'll want to tailor your content to this new category of your audience.
And lastly, keep an eye on your reports and make changes as you go. Marketing is really all about testing. Analyzing your segmentation efforts will provide insights into the way you've characterized your audience. With all of this in mind, let's head into our Mailchimp account and create some segments together.
Let's do that.
All right, here we are on our main Mailchimp account page. To create segments, we can navigate to our segments page. And to do this, we'll select audience in the left navigation menu. And then from the drop-down, we'll click segments here from the secondary menu.
From this page, we'll be able to create and view simple and complex segments and save the segment for later use. And as a quick note, if you're working with more than one audience, you'll just want to double check that you're in the correct audience here in the current audience drop-down menu. And once we've confirmed that, we can go to the regular segments tab. And as we mentioned earlier, standard segmentation combines up to 5 conditions and is included with all Mailchimp plans. And if you're looking to create more advanced segments, you can upgrade to our premium plan to create segments that support multiple nested conditions. So we've already walked through creating a few simple segments earlier, so let's now create a couple more complex ones. We'll select the Create Regular Segment button here in the top right corner.
To begin, when you combine segmentation criteria, you always want to pay special attention to the Contacts Match drop-down menu here. All pulls only contacts who meet the combination of conditions you choose and can be thought of as and. For example, contacts who have a certain tag applied and live in a specific country would be included because they fit both criteria. Any pulls contacts who meet any one of the conditions you choose and can be thought of as or. So this could be contacts who have the tag clients or classes applied. So anyone with either of those tags could be included.
We're going to start by building a segment that works with our e-commerce store integration so we can target customers based on their e-commerce data. This is a good time to mention predictive segmentation, which is a paid feature available on standard plans or higher. These types of segments give you an idea of who is more likely to buy again and who might spend more money over time. For information on predictive segmentation, check out the Help Center. And if you haven't connected your store to Mailchimp yet and are interested in doing so, we'd encourage you to check out the integrations page in your Mailchimp account. And you can find this on the left side of the navigation menu by selecting the squares icon, as seen here. And now we want our contacts to match every single condition that we're about to add, and we'll make sure to choose all from the Contacts Match drop-down menu. In this example, we'll pull a segment of contacts who have not made a purchase yet and who signed up to our audience after a specific date. Our goal in doing this is to engage our new subscribers who haven't bought anything yet and target them with a special offer.
Yeah, let's get them engaged, right? For the first condition here, we'll set the drop-down menus to Purchase Activity, and then we'll select Has Not Purchased. And then we'll click Add. Excellent. For the second condition, set the drop-down menus to Purchase Date, right here, and then Is After a specific date, and we'll choose our date January 1st, 2023. Feel free to click the Preview Segment button to see who matches your conditions. Remember, if too many or too few contacts match your conditions, you can test out different ideas and combinations.
Well, let's go ahead and create another segment together. Just hit Segments in the menu, and then click Create Regular Segment button again to start with a clear form. Now let's create another segment of local customers to send location-specific content to. If you have subscribers all over the world, some of your messages may vary based on your subscribers' locations, and you can use the locations condition with campaign activity to find subscribers within a geographical area who might be interested in similar content. For this example, we'll pull a segment of subscribers who opened a specific related campaign we've sent or live within 25 miles of a target area. We'll use Atlanta, Georgia, Mailchimp's hometown as the example location, and this time we'll choose any because we want to find subscribers who either opened that campaign or live in the area. For the first condition, set the drop-down menus to campaign activity. We'll go back here, campaign activity, opened, and we'll choose our campaign inventory announcement. Great. And for the second, we'll click add. And for the second condition, we'll set the drop-down menus to location is within 25 miles of Atlanta, Georgia. We'll do that in a sec. Okay. And we can click validate location to get an accurate point on the map, and then we'll select use this location. We'll go ahead and choose the preview segment button.
And that's how you get going. If we like the segment, which we do, we'll choose save segment right here, and we can now name our segment. And we'll call ours local events. Now, anyone who matches either of these conditions will automatically be added to the segment. Keep in mind that we can always find it by navigating back to audience and then selecting segments and then regular segments. To easily launch a campaign for this segment, we can just select the drop-down arrow next to the segment and choose Send Regular Campaign. This will launch our campaign builder with our segment already populated in our two sections seen right here. Just like that. Fill in your subject line and design your campaign to get it out into the world. While we're here in the campaign builder, we wanted to show you a few other options for sending to segments or tags in your audience. Let's click into Edit Recipients here in the To section. And then if we click here in this dropdown under Segment or Tag, we can see all of our sending options. You'll notice we can choose to just send to one individual tag, or we can pick from a variety of pre-built segments that Mailchimp populates for you automatically. So, now that we've discussed tags and groups and walked you through crafting some segments, we've just about wrapped up today's webinar. We know that this has been a ton of information, so to end things today, let's discuss a couple of key takeaways from this webinar and what's important to remember as you continue finding new ways to reach your audience with Mailchimp.
Remember to organize your contacts in meaningful ways. Make a plan for your audience. Think about the information you have about your contacts and what you wish to collect about them. Don't collect information just to have it. Use it, and if you don't need it, think about making space for other information instead.
Use tags and groups as a basis for segmentation. Remember, tags and groups are tools for categorizing and labeling your contacts in your Mailchimp audience, either by information only you would know about your contacts or through the information audience members share with you. Using these two tools enables you to keep track of your contacts and helps with sending targeted campaigns. Segments, ultimately, are used to tie everything together. Your audience data, as well as your tags and groups, can all be used together within a segment.
And finally, as a pro tip, you'll want to keep your segments more widely defined. Although the point of audience segmentation is to specify your audience, it is possible to segment your audiences too far. It's essential to have a smaller market with a defined need. However, if your market is so narrowly defined that it barely contains anyone, you'll either reach too few people or you'll end up spending time and energy writing messages for too many different audiences. Ultimately, you want to be sure to keep an eye out on your engagement and your data to see what's working and make changes as you go. And so, with all of these tips and best practices, we've wrapped up today's webinar. We recommend checking out the Help Center article on segmentation and jumping into your own account to try and make a segment or two yourself. Just a quick reminder, stay tuned. You'll receive a recording of this tutorial in case you missed anything or want to go back again, as well as follow-up resources. If you've enjoyed this webinar, we also have a variety of other ones available to help you use Mailchimp. So check out mailchimp.com/workshop for more information. Thanks again for joining us, and we hope to see you at another webinar soon.